Word 2013, Unit F, create a text box. When we want to illustrate our documents with text, we can create a text box. Now, a text box is simply a container that we can fill with text and graphics. And just like any other drawing object, the text box can be resized, formatted. We can change the colors, for instance, the fill color, the lines, the text wrapping, and we can, of course, position our text boxes anywhere that we'd like on the page. We can choose to insert a pre-formatted text box and then customize it with our own text, or we can draw a completely empty text box and then fill it with text, or probably the best feature yet, and we'll try that during today's tutorial, we can select existing text and draw a text box around it. We can have Microsoft Word do that for us. So let's go ahead and try this. The first thing that we'll do, we're going to change our zoom level to 100%. So I need to go to the View tab above the ribbon because I want to view it differently. And I'll just go ahead and click 100%. That's the quickest way to get this done. And I'm trying to make sure that I can see all of my text here on page 1. And I'm noticing that I have 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to select all the text in columns 2 and 3 on page 1. And let me actually go to the Home tab above the ribbon and turn on my Show Hide feature so that I can see where my last paragraph mark is before my section break. I see I left off my period. I'm just going to hold down Shift and use my arrow keys, my right arrow key, to select that last little part. Let me mention again what I'm doing. The first time I selected, I used my mouse to drag, but I noticed that I didn't include the period, and that just kind of reminded me to mention to you guys that I can also hold down my Shift key and use the arrow keys on my keyboard as a way of being really precise. So I can use my down arrows or my right arrow to get that done. Just several different ways of doing the same thing in Microsoft Word. Now I'm going to go to the Insert tab above the ribbon, and I need to find my text group on the ribbon, and here it is, really close to the end of the ribbon. I'm going to choose Text Box and come all the way down past my built-in text boxes until I see Draw Text Box at the bottom. And notice Microsoft Word wrapped a text box around that column 2 and 3 text. So I have a text box. Now let's tweak the position and the look of this text box. Because I have my text box selected, now I get an extra feature up here above the ribbon, my Drawing Tools Format tab. So I'm going to click that. And the first thing I want to do is kind of adjust the position of my text box. So I might as well go to my Arrange group and choose Position. And I'm going to change my position in bottom right with square text wrapping. And you can see that it's moved my text box. I'll go ahead and do that first. And don't worry that it's overlapping onto my photo. I'm going to make a change in the size. That should help me there. So under the same tab, I'll go to the very last Group Size, and I'll change this height to 4.1. Click in my second window, which is the width, and I'll change that to 4.65 and hit Enter. And you can see what that did. It bounced it back over to the second page, but that's okay. We can move it. As a matter of fact, right now, I'm looking for my anchor symbol. I don't see any anchor symbols just yet, but it's because I clicked off. Let me click back into my text box here, and notice now I can see that little anchor. And don't forget, the anchor ties my object to a paragraph. So right now it's tied over here on the second page, but I'm actually going to drag this anchor symbol to the left margin of my first body paragraph. So I'm going to click and drag it all the way over here. And notice that moved my text box over here as well. While I have, well, let me click it just to be sure, but while I have my text box selected, let me change the format of it. So I'm still in the Drawing Tools and Format. I'm going to grab a shape style, and the book suggests that I try Subtle Green Accent 6. Now, If you would prefer to try out a different color scheme, I don't mind at all. The point of this exercise is, can you do it? So this definitely adds a different look to our newsletter. Now I'm thinking that where my paragraph starts here, thousands of miles of Atlantic, Pacific, and Caribbean coastline, this would look much better if I had the drop cap effect. You'll see this in just a second. To get this, I'm going to click the Insert tab above the ribbon, but make sure that your cursor is blinking to the left of your first word in your first paragraph. So, I see my cursor there. Go to the Insert tab above the ribbon. Find the text group on your ribbon. I'm looking for drop cap. Now that is a mighty fine looking feature. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my show hide so I can get a clearer look at my newsletter. I like it very much. We're going to say that's it for this exercise, creating a text box.